morning, Pisces. This is Nightbird Tarot. I'm here to do your daily message. Today is January 22nd, 2026, but when you find this message is when you're meant to receive it. We're going to take a look at what the vibe is for the day, and then we'll pull some tarot cards, and then I'll finish off your reading with a message from the Akashic Records Oracle cards. Let's call in Spirit. Okay, Pisces, let's see what the vibe is for the day. I hope that you're all doing well. Today is Thursday, so I will be putting out your love messages for your love story this evening. So look forward to that. Last week I did my first one, so you can check out that playlist for your love story. But let's see what the daily overall feeling is for you. This is a Pisces collective reading, so it's not a personal reading. So take what resonates, leave the rest, as it is a collective reading. Let's see what the vibe is. Thank you all for the likes, shares, comments, subscribing, all of the good stuff, hitting that hype button, the thanks button, all of that great stuff. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you'd like a personal reading, you can find that information in the description of the page. Okay. Angels, guides, ancestors, what is the most important message for Pisces for January 22nd, 2026, or when my viewers are viewing this message? Okay. So we have boundaries, disrespectful, enough is enough, defend yourself, and we have established, settled, secure, wealthy. You've established your boundaries. That's the first thing that's coming to mind from Spirit, is you finally established your boundaries, Pisces. And it feels wonderful. Like I'm getting tingles all over me that you have finally established the boundaries when it comes to disrespect, enough is enough, and defending yourself. By establishing this boundary, you are now feeling more settled, secure, and I do have the word wealthy. So let's see what the cards have to say here. But overall, I'm feeling like this is, you are finally establishing your boundaries. Let's pull some tarot. I'm going to grab a drink of my coffee here. Okay. Wonderful. Establishing those boundaries from disrespect, defending yourself, etc., etc. It feels like that's been in the collective energy for quite some time. So the energy is shifting. I am feeling that shift, which is wonderful. So you're moving into that boundary-centered establishment, getting settled, feeling more secure. Let's see what the tarot have to say. Angels, guides, ancestors, what is the most important message for Pisces? January 22nd, or when my viewers are viewing this message. Message for Pisces, please. One more. That energy has shifted. It feels really good. Back of the deck, we have the Fool card in the reverse position. Okay. Okay. So you're in a new beginning, Pisces. You've established your boundaries. You're no longer dealing with disrespect. Enough is enough. You're done defending yourself, and you're establishing those boundaries. So you're settling in, feeling more secure. However, with the Fool card in the shadow for what you don't see, as this is your new beginning, okay, after dealing with disrespect, defending yourself, etc., the Fool in the reverse position is an uncertainty. So even though you're at the beginning, this is the 0 card of the Major Arcana, you're starting your new beginning. With it being reversed, you are uncertain in what direction on which you want to go, okay? You're unsure of your actions. You don't know which way to go. You've now established your boundaries, but you're like stuck. You're like, okay, now what? I've established my boundaries. I'm saying enough is enough. Now what do I do? And that's for what you don't see. So in the subconscious area, you're like, okay, I'm feeling a little more settled and secured, but now where do I go? I've set up these boundaries, but where do I go now? There's an uncertainty within. You do have the Nine of Pentacles here in the upright position, first card out of the deck here. This is an independence card. You're feeling independent. You are feeling more secure in yourself. You're loving yourself. You're taking authority in your life as the Queen of Pentacles here. It just feels like you're more secure and settled. Okay? You may have taken a position as well, which could have led you to more financial abundance as well. But what I feel like this is just a security card, an independence card. And this is with the word secure here. This is what I'm feeling here. You're feeling secure, content in your boundaries that you've set. You've established those boundaries from disrespect. Enough is enough, and defending yourself. And you're feeling secure within yourself. Except for you don't know what the future holds. And there's an uncertainty here in your new beginning. We do have the Seven of Cups here in the reverse position. This is you looking at realistic goals, okay? You've established your independence here. You've put up your boundaries. You've said enough is enough, okay? You're no longer dealing with the disrespect. But this is you looking at your realistic goals, okay? Looking at the hard facts. Believing what you see, in other words, okay? With the Seven of Cups. So I think that's what you're looking at this time. Looking at life realistically on what that means for you with your independence and putting up these boundaries for people that disrespect you, where you're having to defend yourself. So you're looking at the reality of the situation now and seeing your independence, feeling good in your truth, but there is an uncertainty about your future and as you move forward. We do have the Page of Pentacles here as well in the upright position. I feel like you're eager to see what the future will hold for you, Pisces. There's an eagerness, as a page is like a youthful person. So there's an eagerness or like a youthfulness to the way your mind is working at this time, on like the world is my oyster kind of feeling. Like I don't know what the future holds, but anything can happen, okay? And I feel like there's an eagerness in your mind about this. Like, what is the future going to be for me now? Okay. There is that uncertainty about what, and it doesn't feel like it's a bad uncertainty. It's just like, you just feel like, I don't know what's going to happen now. Now that I've established these boundaries, I don't know what's going to happen. But you're looking at things realistically now. We do have the Four of Cups here as well. And I feel like this is what you're doing. You're contemplating your future. With the Four of Cups, you're sitting here and saying, okay, I've gone through all of this mess, all of this heartache, all of this emotional turmoil, okay? And it's all over with now, okay? I've got all these spilled cups all over the place. And there could be a disappointment on the way that your life has gone. So even though you've set these boundaries about the disrespect, you don't know what life is going to be bringing you now. You're standing in your truth and your independence. You're looking at things very realistically. There is an uncertainty about what you're going to be doing, but there is also an eagerness of wanting to know what the future holds, because you've been so disappointed by the way that your life, and especially emotion, the things that you've gone through emotionally, you've been so disappointed in. So this could be about relationships. It could be about a job. It could be about anything that's caused a lot of heartache and emotion for you. And it's caused you a lot of disappointment in life, Pisces. And it's different for everyone. So take what resonates here. Let's clarify. Please clarify the Queen of Pentacles, please, Spirit. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah. So you're stepping into your new beginning. You're feeling your independence, and you're looking at all the work that you've done. All the work that you've done internally, externally, etc., in order to establish these boundaries that you have gone through. Okay? You've gone through disrespect. You've had to say enough is enough. You've had to defend yourself, and you had to establish these boundaries. You're settling in now, okay? And looking at you're feeling your independence, you're feeling strong within your power, and you're looking at back at everything that you did, okay? You have gone through every moon cycle, in other words, is what Spirit is saying to me. You've gone through this for a number of years, okay? And you're looking back at all the work that you've done on this situation, all the work you've done to gain your independence here with the Eight of Pentacles. And it feels like you did a lot of work to get to this point here. You really have, this is a card of paying attention to detail. Like you really had to be methodical on the way that you set your boundaries here, Pisces. And you've gained that independence. Please clarify the Seven of Cups, please, Spirit. So we have the King of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. So you're looking at things realistically. You're looking at your money, perhaps, as well. You're very skilled in mathematics. And you're looking at perhaps your finances realistically now after setting your boundaries, okay? It could have been a work situation that you had to kind of set your boundaries up. Maybe you quit a job because you said enough is enough. And now you're looking at things realistically. You could have left a relationship where you had more security financially, and you're looking at the situation realistically now. When it comes to perhaps your finances in moving forward and where you're going to go, where the uncertainty is. Maybe you're wanting to move away. Maybe you're wanting to start a new life somewhere else. And you're looking at things realistically, perhaps through your finances here, Pisces. We do have the Page of Wands also here clarifying in the reverse position. So there's an indecisiveness with the Page of Wands being reversed about the reality of the situation and what to do next. So you're looking at things in a realistic way, perhaps looking at your finances, but there's an uncertainty about how to move forward, much like the Fool card here. Let's clarify the Page of Pentacles. Please clarify. Oops. So we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse position. I feel like you're walking towards an eagerness of walking towards your future here. So there is an eagerness with the Page of Pentacles, and you're walking towards that eagerness. You're walking towards this new future for you, Pisces. Even though you're looking at things realistically and you're uncertain of how things are going to work out, there's an eagerness of you walking towards your future and walking away from what no longer serves you here. So with the Eight of Cups here being in the reverse position, you're taking a risk. There is an eagerness of taking a risk and doing something different here, Pisces. Whether it's a new job, a new location, a new relationship, you know what it means. Please clarify the Four of Cups. So there's an eagerness of walking towards something and taking a risk. Please clarify the Four of Cups, please, Spirit. Please clarify the Four of Cups, Spirit. Okay, yeah. So we have the Sun card in the reverse position. So you've been very disappointed in life. It's brought in, the way that life has gone for you. And the Sun card, there may have been a lot of pain associated with this, the way that life has gone for you. It's been very emotional for you. So you're disappointed on the way that your life has gone. So this is looking back at your recent past here in the disrespectfulness, defending yourself, having to put up your boundaries in the past here, and now settling into your future. So you have been very disappointed on the way that your life has gone up until this point. And with the Sun card here, it could have been because you were in an unstable relationship, an unstable partnership. You could have been separated from somebody, or you're going through a separation. And there could be a loneliness behind all of this newness. So perhaps you're doing this all by yourself because you're establishing your boundaries. You're saying enough is enough to the disrespect and defending yourself. You're settling into your independence here. You're looking at all the work that you put into getting to the place that you are now. You're seeing things in reality. You're looking at your finances. You may be feeling a little uncertain about the future as you are stepping forward into your new beginning. There's an eagerness behind it, Pisces. You are really looking forward to this and you're taking a risk. You may have taken a risk by putting these boundaries up as well, establishing these boundaries, saying enough is enough, loving yourself and saying enough of the disrespect. So you took a risk. You're looking forward to, what is to come. But there is, there's disappointment in the way that your life has been going. There could be some type of separation, an end of a marriage. There could be, an unstable relationship where that caused you a lot of disappointment. In the emotional, with this being cups, very emotional. But it looks like you have finally established your boundaries here. What is the advice for Pisces? So the advice is you're no longer bound by this situation. You put up your boundaries. You established your boundaries. You said no more disrespect. You said enough is enough. You're settled in. You're feeling more secure. You're no longer bound by this situation. You're no longer trapped by it. You're no longer blinded by it. You've set your boundaries. There's a lot of disappointment that went into this. This could be some type of love relationship, partnership, something like that, or even a job situation that you felt very insecure in. You're feeling more secure now that you've walked away from the situation. You've set your boundaries. You're looking at all the work you did in order to gain your independence. Okay? You're looking at the reality of the situation. And Spirit says your advice is that you're no longer bound to the situation. One more. What is the advice for Pisces? Yeah. So you're no longer bound by, it could be a romantic relationship. An unhealthy romantic relationship with the Lovers being reversed here. When the Lovers is reversed, there is some type of breakdown in a relationship, perhaps where you had a lot of disrespect here. So there's some type of conflict or separation going on with this situation, but you're no longer bound by it. And even though you're uncertain about your future, Pisces, you should know that you're no longer tied to this. The cord has been cut. You've set your boundaries. You've set your independence. You're looking at things in reality now. But you're walking towards, you're taking a risk. And there's some excitement with the Page of Pentacles walking towards your future. You don't know necessarily what it's going to bring. But you're willing to take the risk instead of dealing with somebody that disrespects, where you're having to say enough is enough or defending yourself all the time. You want to feel more established, secure in your life, in your independence here, Pisces. And Spirit says you're no longer bound by this person. There is a separation here. with this conflict that you had with this individual. It could be a love relationship or somebody that you had heart-centered feelings for. It could be a family member. It could be a partnership. Take it as it resonates here. One more. What is the advice, please, Spirit? So the Temperance. When I think about the Temperance, I think about yin and yang. And I had just gotten a channeled message the other day. I was actually showering when I got the message. And the message said that you must go through the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, in order to understand what is the I am. And that is Spirit saying to you that you must go through these situations where you're feeling disappointed by life in order to gain more connection to the divine. You must go through the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, in order to understand what is the I am. And that was a channeled message I got, and I put it on as a post, so you can check that out. But that's what it's reminding me of, and that's what Spirit is saying here, that life is full of ups and downs. But this is what we're here to go through. In the physical, we're here to go through the good and the bad in order to remember who we are. And you're remembering who you are through this transition, Pisces. Remembering who you are as you gain this independence. And look at the back of the deck. I can't make this up. We have the Death card in Rebirth. You're going through a transformation, Pisces. You are evolving spiritually because you've gone through some tough stuff. You've gone through the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, in order to grow spiritually, to become closer to the divine. You're here to go through this, to remember this. To remember who you are, Pisces, at a spiritual level. So even though you're disappointed by life, this has actually built you closer and confirmed, how do I want to say this? This disappointment in life has actually brought you closer to the divine. You must go through the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, in order to understand what is the I am. You're going through this transformation. And it's an awakening of sorts going through this, Pisces. Let's pull in Akashic Records to finish up your reading. But yeah, you've gone through this. You had to learn to establish your boundaries, to say enough is enough. That disrespect is not what you want in your life. You learned through this. And through the learning, you became closer to the divine. You are understanding what that is. You must go through the good and the bad, the yin and the yang, in order to understand what is the I am. Angels, guides, ancestors, a message from the Akashic Records to finish up the reading for Pisces, please. Beautiful reading. Okay. So we have the word be present. It says you are undergrounded and spending too much time in your head. Something has caused you to retreat to your mind. It is time to bring consciousness to it so you can resolve it and start living life more fully again. So I feel like that's what this uncertainty is. So Spirit is saying be present. You're undergoing this transformation, the Death card, and spending too much time in your head. Something has caused you to retreat to the mind, okay? And it's time to be conscious to it, Temperance card, so it can resolve it and start living more fully again. You must go through the good and the bad in order to understand what is the I am. And the I am is being present with spirit. So I'm going to leave the message there, Pisces. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, or you can hype the video as well. I would really love that. And if you are feeling called to, you could also thanks on the video as well. And I'd love to hear in the comments how this resonates with you. I will see you tonight for your love messages and tomorrow for your next daily reading. Have a wonderful day. Please be kind and compassionate to one another. Namaste.